right. All right. So I am Val Leichtman, the operations manager at Boa World, and I'm here helping Mr. Ernie Meyer with his inaugural episode of Conversations with Ernie. And Ernie has been in public speaking, teaching in corporate America to more than 260 people. He's an accomplished Toastmaster, has presented for up to 5,000 executives in corporate America, has played drums for thousands of people, and he's currently written a course for thinking the way rich people do called Black Belt Mentality. So how are you doing today, Mr. Ernie?
Oh, thank you, Val. I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. And thank you for taking the time to interview me.
So, Ernie, can you tell me about a time when you were at the bottom of your life and how you overcame that?
I can think of two. The first one was when I was less than 9 years old. I was in 4th grade and I was at the top of my class. And then I came down with a very bad blood infection. In fact, I missed 10 weeks of my last school year. And I went from being at the top of my class to struggling because I was promoted to 5th grade, even though I shouldn't have been, even my grades had proven that I was. Make a long story short, what happened to me was by the time I hit 7th grade, I was in what they called back then junior high. I was put in a special class, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but I was offended with this as well. It was labeled the retard class. So I was already labeled a retard. And even though I knew I didn't belong in that class, my parents backed it up and everybody in school backed it up that that's where I belonged. So imagine at 10 years old, 11, 12 years old, being labeled as a retard with a red birthmark all over my eye. Good luck getting a girlfriend then. I learned how to play the drums. I taught myself. And by the time I hit regular high school at 10th grade, I was already in a band. I was very popular. So I had risen out of that mentality of the people. And I had already accomplished where I was getting straight A's in school and what have you. So that was one time when I came from bottom to top. Another time was when I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And one was a restaurant where I made money from the day we opened till the day we closed. And I closed because my wife and I worked so many hours, we had to hire people to sleep for us because we didn't have time to sleep. And from there, I went into construction and I became a general contractor building homes. And I loved it. But I realized that I was in poor thinking or middle class thinking when those businesses dried up or I quit those businesses, that my income, my money dried up as well. I didn't have the residuals that I was needing. And no matter what I did, I knew that there was a better way to keep my money and to think like a rich person. And I found that in Rich Dad, Poor Dad and T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And that's how I built my course around those people. And I help different people. And I tell them that maybe I can, maybe I can't help because I'm only coming from my background of what I experienced. You may experience other things. Somebody else in this audience may experience other things. So that's what I do. And I keep an open mind when I talk to my people. Anything else, Val?
So you touched upon it a little bit, but what exactly is it that you're doing today that you're using, these skills that you've picked up over the years?
All right, basically I'm using the books that I learned to teach people. And I call it black belt mentality because I am a black belt. I'm 2nd degree in Tang Soo Do, martial arts. And I can teach you every single move in 2 hours or less. And basically what happens is it still takes 4 hours before you become a black belt. That's because you need a mentor, you need instructions, and you need to practice. And of course you need dedication. And it takes 4 years for the average person to become a black belt. and it did me as well. And I had setbacks where I had my knee rebuilt with ligaments and what have you during that time. So it would have been faster for me because I was on a, as my old boss used to say, I'm on a mission for God and I'm going broke. And I wasn't about to give up because I saw a goal. And the other reason that I think of this and what I'm doing with this business is I tell people, you can read this out of a book, but if you don't get it, you need a mentor. You need somebody to guide you. You need somebody to bridge that gap. It would be like learning martial arts out of a book. Not saying it can't be done, but it's very difficult to be done that way. And what I do is I create that, close that gap between the people, the gurus that have written those books and what I can teach them based on their experience. So I have, several levels that I introduce people to. And one is a group coaching. Another one is a question and answer. And another one is a different level for direct one-on-one coaching that I offer the people who want it. And I do it in 3-month segments so that they're not committed to a whole year that they find in the first 3 months that they don't like it or they don't want it or it's not for them. Let's face it, everybody on this earth is not cut out to be rich people thinking or a rich person. Some people feel that they want to work for somebody else and they want to enjoy the income that is given to them. But yet I see a lot of people saying they wish they were rich. And when you look at people and they get into things as though like network marketing or MLMs, and they think, oh yeah, now I'm going to be rich. Well, not really, because if you still have the mentality of a poor person or a middle-class person, it's not going to work. In fact, the reason that most people quit is after 3 or 4 times of friends or people telling them, what are you crazy for getting involved in that? They listen to them. They listen to other people who are failing and they decide to get into it. When I bring in people into MLMs or my network marketing business, I tell them, first of all, this is hard. And it's not as simple as other people tell you it's going to be. And I tell them to look out for the pitfalls. Now, do you still want it? I will mentor you. That's what I do.
Well, it goes right back to the story you were talking about when you were a child, that you were labeled retarded, but you didn't let that encompass who you are. You were able to build your own identity. And it's the same thing when it comes to, thinking like a rich person versus thinking like a middle-class person or a poor person, right? That you can't let labels and other people's ideas keep you from doing what you want to accomplish, but there's definitely a strategy and set steps that you need to take in order to do that. And that's what you help people do.
This is very true. In fact, if Elon Musk knew what thoughts I had in my mind and what I wanted to create when I was 15, he would be jealous. And everybody knows he's a forward thinker.
Yep. So I lost my thought. When you say basically you have all of these different levels of coaching and all of these different ways of helping people, but who's your target? Like, who is somebody that if they have this type of thought or they're facing this type of problem, they should contact you? Who's somebody like your ideal client that you can help?
It would be a person that is currently struggling in any new business as a new entrepreneur and wondering why theirs doesn't work if somebody else's does. And if their efforts are bad or good. I have a coach who says, look it, I came from Cuba. I didn't know anything. I had nothing, but here I am very successful. I have another coach who has MS, who sits on stage, and I'm actually going to his boot camp this weekend. And I'm telling you, these people will not let their past interfere with their future. And those are the type of people that are looking for ways that they can move forward without their past interfering with their future.
I love it. So how can people get in contact with you to help them change their poor man's thinking?
Well, to start with, I am currently designing my website which is Ernie Meyer, ERNIEMEYER, international, just how it sounds, .com. And you can get a hold of me right now through my email at erniemeyerinternational@gmail.com. And I will be able to give you the guidance. I will even offer a 15 to 30-minute session with the person or people to tell them what to expect and what we have to offer before they decide to pull out their credit card.
That's awesome. So people get to have a taste of what you can help them do. And so on a different note, what is the purpose of Conversations with Ernie? What is your goal with having people come in and be interviewed with you and share their story?
Well, first off, as you can tell, this is being produced live on Facebook. It will also be populated on my YouTube channel. And I encourage you to do the same so that the person that I am interviewing will also have that connection online so that they can take their interview and put it on their Facebook, on their YouTube, on their Instagram, wherever they want. I'm actually going to populate this on Dailymotion and other video sites that have this. And the more I am seen, the more the people that bring in are seen, the more that I will be able to help them populate and be seen. And in other words, another thing that I'm doing now, and I will get releases signed by each one of the people to include them in a book that I'm going to be writing about the people who were down and out and made it big. I'm talking about people that were broke, destitute, and they were able to accomplish what they did in life. And what this will do, I'll call it my book of heroes. And I hope to have volume 1, volume 2, and they are the hero, not me. Basically, I have a file of people that were down and out in their life, famous people that have made it back from homelessness, from being ridiculed, and the like. And I have people that have actually risen to the occasion. I have files and files. Well, I want the average person. I want the average person to know that their story is just as good and just as wonderful as a so-called famous person. Let them be famous in their own right.
That's fabulous. And can people who want to be interviewed and share their story, they can contact you the same way, erniemeyerinternational@gmail.com?
That's right. And I will send them a link to my calendar where they can pick out what day and what time they wish to be interviewed. And that will basically be every day except Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesdays because those are the days that I am mentored, and mornings on Saturday because in the afternoon I like to be mentored by my wife. And she is awesome. So to switch things around, Val, tell us a little bit about you and how people can get a hold of you and what you offer people as far as the future goes.
So, as I said, I am the operations manager at BOA World. And what BOA World is an international training organization. And our main coach and speaker is Bert Oliva'a, who is one of the top motivational speakers in the world. And he helps people overcome limiting beliefs to achieve their full potential. And so we have workshops, online courses, group coaching, anything you can think of, pretty much we can either help you with, or we can direct you to resources like Ernie here, who can help you with a specific issue. And that's pretty much it. You can contact me at www.bowaworld.com.
That's beautiful, Val. I know your leader personally, and he is wonderful. He has taught me a lot, and I use him and Gary Barnes along with JB Brandon, and I use the three of those as coaches. Each one of them have their own unique way and their own special way of helping me, so that even if I tell people what I do and I instruct people what I can do for them, if they feel they're not a good fit for me, those three people that I just mentioned, I feel very comfortable recommending each one of those people to you if I'm not the right person for you? So I'm not jealous, and there is no ego to bruise. I could have been a rock star, but maybe I still will, because I do know one person whose father is in the Hall of Fame, rock and roll. So I keep bugging him. Like, you know, you write songs for Fleetwood Mac. Why don't you give me a few of those songs that they rejected and let me do it? And he says, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I go, all right, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, in my opinion, everybody needs at least one coach in their life, but really everybody needs at least a few coaches or mentors, because everybody has a different view outlook on life and a different viewpoint and different skills and strengths. And so it helps to have multiple people in your wheelhouse that you can go to and ask questions and get advice from. And really, our world is full of so many different people and so many different personalities that that's why there's so many people in this industry, because different people mesh in different ways.
That's very true, Val. And until the beginning of this year, I didn't think I needed a coach and a mentor, because I was always successful. I was successful, it's easy for you to say. Drummer, I was a successful black belt instructor. I was successful in the restaurant business and the construction business. I was totally successful. And I thought, I don't need a mentor. Well, guess what? I do. And now I'm at the level and surrounded by people that I want to rise to become, because they say you rise around people that you are affiliated with. Where 5, 10 years ago, no offense to those people, but I was at the top of that tier, and I'm looking down at these people, not looking down at them, but actually saying, what can I learn from them?
Yeah.
And this group of people that I am surrounded by now, I'm feeling almost inadequate, because I feel like there's so much, I'm at the bottom of the barrel that I can learn from them. But it's a good thing, because there's so many great people out there that are willing to teach me and show me and just be around their positive attitude, which says you can do it. And I believe it. In fact, I have people trying to slow me down. Here's another thing. Back in November, I had a brain aneurysm and a stroke, and I was in the hospital. And I didn't let that slow me down. In fact, JB and Gary and everybody, this is before I met Bert and became involved with Bert. These people were telling me to slow down. I kept saying, oh, no, no, you catch up to me. But they were telling me to slow down because my brain doesn't think like it used to. And I can't connect all my thoughts the same way. And they were just telling me, don't take a big chunk out of that elephant at one time. So that's what I do. So is there anything else before we leave?
No, just do you have, a final thought that you want to leave our audience with? Any, your favorite quote or anything like that?
Well, my favorite quote is, you can design a life or you can live a life. And what I do and what I say is, you can make a living or you can design your life. And I found out long ago that I don't let people tell me my limitations. I don't have any limitations. I see things out there and I can do that. Don't let limitations stop you from contacting me, because even if I'm not the right person, I will put you in front of 3 different other people who have been, get a load of this. These people have been mentored and trained by the likes of Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Les Brown. And that's only a few of the many who have coached these people. So these people are coaching me with all those ideas and all those famous coaches out there. And I am delighted to be part of this organization. That's it, Val.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And I hope people contact you soon to get interviewed and be on your podcast.
Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. And I think there'll be many at Gary Barnes boot camp this weekend in Denver. So I'm looking forward to that. My wife will be joining me. I keep bragging about it. She keeps saying, well, I'm going. So she's taking off and coming with me. So I'll still flirt with the women, that's me.